It was Christmas Day of 1938. Young United Airlines was only 7 years old, and under the tree, a giant present was awaiting. The little airline opened the gift, and there in front of him stood the Monopoly Man. Young United loved Monopoly, playing day and night with his dad until he became an expert. And when he grew older and became a big airline, he decided to start his own Monopoly. Whoa! Pause. United can't start a monopoly, as that is strictly illegal in all 50 states. No, we mean monopoly figuratively. Basically, United made a very advanced route network that relies on them developing a lot of control over lower demand cities and hubs. Okay, so how about we fly to over 370 destinations, having nearly 5,000 flights a day, and let's also send some 737s to Tokyo so that they can fly to more Southeast Asian countries. And while we're at it, we might as well just fly to a bunch of random cities with virtually no demand. And just because it's sunny outside today, I feel like we should charge some ridiculous prices on those flights. How on earth could this possibly be profitable? That is a good question. No other airline in the world flies to as many destinations as United does. Such large networks are expensive to maintain and operate, which causes most airlines to shy away from them. But United manages to maintain its vast network while still making good profit from it. So how do they do that? Being based in the US, United has multiple strategic hubs. Not only do these hubs better serve mainstream long-haul and domestic markets, but also to serve smaller markets that benefit from these hub locations. For example, United's huge hub at SFO caters to a large number of Asian routes, but also serves smaller airports such as Bishop and North Bend Airport. So because United ends up being the only airline serving those areas, they get to establish a lot of control. The resulting monopoly emerging from those small places means that they have a service essential to those communities. They can also connect passengers from regional flights to on-road destinations, as it is much easier for American passengers to connect to an international flight via a US hub rather than connect internationally. This, in turn, helps fill seats on mainline flights. United excels at launching routes with low demand and making them work, such as San Francisco to Christchurch, New Zealand, or Newark to Nuuk, Greenland. Those routes may not be able to be sustained by themselves, but United's route network reaches virtually every corner of the world, so flying with them is suddenly a more viable option and makes United the obvious choice for these flights. The initial demand may be slow at first, but the airline is able to tolerate low operating margins in exchange for a monopoly on the destination later on. In the end, these routes are just convenient for many people. They aren't always going to guarantee that these flights will be full every day, but when another airline wants to jump in on these second-hand locations, they can't because United builds up so much control early on. And like we mentioned in the beginning, United has been playing this game for years, so they don't break a sweat while operating these routes and launching new ones. Their network is so refined that if another airline tries to do something similar, United will do it better because they've already established themselves under the strategy. Now, United isn't just throwing darts at a board to pick their next route. They still have a strategic approach. One way that United finds a route they think has potential is by running them seasonally. It allows them to test out new markets without a long-term commitment. Then, based on the success, they either cancel it, keep it a seasonal route, or make it year-round. This flexibility allows United to constantly allocate capacity to wherever demand is strongest, keeping flights full year-round. A good example of this is a route from Newark to Dakar, Senegal. United launched this route in May of 2025 with a Boeing 767, and while this route's novelty definitely attracted a couple flyers, load factors never went above 70%, and thus got cut within a year. Another example of this is when United launched a route from Newark to Cape Town back in 2019, which was launched with a 787 Dreamliner. Now, it was initially launched seasonally and only 3 times weekly since United didn't expect high profit margins, but after COVID passed and travel rebounded, the loads on the route grew steadier, and in 2022, the route was upgraded to year-round. Not too long after that, seeing the success of the Cape Town route, United added another service from Washington Dulles to Cape Town. Another key strategy that United uses is schedule design. The airline times arrivals and departures at its hubs to maximize connections, having multiple rush hours in a day, meaning a few wide-body arrivals can feed dozens of outbound flights. Furthermore, United can easily connect nearby destinations with a single small aircraft, all feeding off of passengers coming from the same wave of incoming flights from major cities, thanks to the quick turnarounds of these shorter flights. So this feed from large aircrafts to smaller ones allows United to serve more destinations with less aircraft. Since United is often the only airline flying to these smaller airports, they can charge prices as high as they want. Having those travelers connect through hubs on a second flight gives United another reason to just add more money to the bill, both increasing fare revenue and load factors. It also allows United to charge for multiple flights, which can mean that they can charge multiple on food, checked baggage, and cabin upgrades. With all of this revenue, those flights that may have not seemed profitable at first start bringing in huge loads of cash for United. One of United's most unique hubs is Tokyo Narita. United doesn't treat Tokyo, though, as an international hub per se. Instead, they connect it to more Asian cities on Fifth Freedom flights to places like Ulaanbaatar and Kaohsiung. United can operate these routes thanks to post-World War II US traffic rights that allowed US airlines to operate intra-Asia routes out of Japan, and some routes are even supported by the US government in order to strengthen their control over Asian travel. Now, United's Tokyo flights connect passengers arriving from the US mainland on US medium and long-haul flights onto shorter 737 flights. This allows United to be able to sell tickets to destinations that have less demand without taking the risk of operating direct flights on wide bodies from the US mainland. But wait a second, United has a very convenient Star Alliance partner in Tokyo, ANA, who can easily use their already well-built Japanese network to connect these passengers onwards to Asia. Now, the two airlines probably had a meeting about this at some point, and it probably went like this. Okay, so I'm a Japanese airline based in Japan with a network in Japan, and you are a US-based airline with a strong network in the US. And we are both part of Star Alliance, so it probably just makes sense for you to pass your passengers off to me, and I will connect them to Asia. Or I could just do all of that myself. But we're Star Alliance. I put the Star in Alliance. I'm sending a bunch of 737s to Narita, and they're going to fly to a bunch of low-demand cities and make so much money. Now, I'm doubtful that's actually what happened, but something along those lines, you know? You see, all that post-World War II stuff is actually pretty rare and valuable, so the airline wants to maintain their control of the Japanese region. The model also benefits travelers in the sense that they don't need to self-transfer at large, potentially confusing mega hubs, and can fly directly from where they are to where they need to go, all on United. They also have a hub in Guam, which is a very special part of the airline's network. You see, in 2010, United merged with Continental Airlines. Now, back in the day, Continental struggled with the Asian market and frequently fell short to their competition. But they found a sneaky way to get into Asia without having to worry about competition. And that was their hub in Guam. Zero competition and a great connection to Asia. So, following the merger between United and Continental, Guam stayed under United, allowing them to reach deep into the Asian market as well as the Micronesian islands. United utilizes Guam for their infamous island hopper route, where they will send a 737 to multiple flights going from island to island, exploring the South Pacific. There's actually huge demand for these flights because of the heavy leisure market in the Pacific Islands, and United gets the honor of taking this fun journey as they have tons of experience operating these kind of flights, which again eliminates all competition. An essential factor into making these short hops successful are having the right aircraft for the job, which United actually does quite well. They operate one of the most diverse fleets in the world, ranging from the tiny little CRJs to the massive 777s, allowing them to put the perfect number of seats based on the market. The aircraft that United uses for its very short domestic hops to rural towns is mostly the CRJ family, specifically the CRJ-200 and CRJ-700. These planes, the majority of which can only seat 50 passengers, are perfect for really low-demand destinations since they don't have much capacity and can work with short runways, and they don't even need a jet bridge or air stairs, meaning that in terms of airport compatibility, the sky is really the limit for where United can go. Now, the CRJs that United owns through their subsidiary, United Express, are mostly second-hand planes that are well into their 20s, therefore having a very dated and uncomfortable hard product, but since fuel efficiency and comfort doesn't matter on the short routes, they work great for the job. Another key aircraft type that United uses is the 737 family. Their 737 MAX 9s are the backbone of their hub-to-hub and ultra-premium domestic routes. Their MAX 8s cover nearly every nook and cranny of their vast route network, with some even being deployed all the way to Ponta Delgada, Portugal. These newer 737 MAX planes have a competitive hard product, great range, and are very fuel efficient. And on the other hand, the 737-800s are the backbone of hubs at Tokyo and Guam, as they have low unit cost and the routes that United flies out of those hubs are not really competitive. The older 737s have the advantage of lower unit costs at the price of fuel efficiency and an older hard product. By the way, unit cost is basically a price tag that factors into pretty much everything that United needs to pay for, such as the price of buying a plane, fuel costs, paying for cabin crew, etc. For example, United's Boeing 767s are mostly paid off, have lower crew count minimums, and comparatively shorter flights that the 767 flies. Speaking of the 767, a strategy that only United has perfected is frequently flying the 767 across the Atlantic. The 767 doesn't have the best fuel efficiency or range, but what it lacks there it makes up for its low unit cost, allowing newer and nicer planes like the 787 Dreamliner to be deployed to premium markets, and letting United fly to lower demand cities with the cheaper planes. Oh, and by the way, Delta also incorporates a similar strategy with the 767s, but don't worry about that. This network strategy makes United who they are. It is arguably the most important component to their success, allowing them to go to destinations that Delta and American can't. United's 2025 earnings significantly surpassed American and closely trailed Delta, demonstrating their immense success as an airline. So, do you think that United is the best of the big three? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you right back here for the next video. I think the right back here in the next video just brings it home, you know what I'm saying?